Here we were in the early stages of a pandemic, something that none of us had ever experienced in our collective lifetime. I knew we'd be back on our feet at some point, but in the interim, I still wanted to speak to audiences, but particularly to assistant principals. Knowing that my social media platform was large and was closely associated with my work, on the first Saturday in May 2020, I launched the virtual AP Leadership Academy. The intent was 18 weeks only, but as many of you know, we are years in with no ending in sight. We are now the AP and New Principals Academy, as many of the assistant principals from the original virtual AP Leadership Academy became principals. If you're new to the platform, welcome. If you're a leadership veteran, this platform continues to be relevant for veterans in principal leadership, assistant principal leadership, and aspiring school leaders. With that said, it's time for today's session. And we are live. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, and good morning. Welcome to week 319 of the AP and New Principals Academy. And I should go back to that 319 and say consecutively of the AP and New Principals Academy. Let me see who we got checking in this morning. We got Principal McMillan in where we at? He said in Quist Middle School in Colorado. Good to see you, sir. We got Stacy L. Joy, who has a retirement celebration this morning, so she'll catch the recording. But let's give her a big congratulations. She's been in this business as a teacher for a very long time and had no aspirations of becoming an administrator, but stayed with this platform and all the platforms, the Super Saturday and the Fantastic Four, throughout. She felt that it was beneficial to what she was doing as a classroom teacher. So shout out to Stacy L. Joy out in Los Angeles, California, having her retirement celebration this morning. Let's go. We got Dr. Rachel Edeweke doing big things. Every time I go on her page, she's got a new keynote. So she's just doing big things, and I know she's going to be on here with me solo at some point in the summer. So good stuff. President of the Maryland Association of Secondary School Principals as well. Constance Sherrod, Pearl, Mississippi. Yeah, I was in your state the other day, and the name of your city even came up. Somebody identified themselves as being from Pearl, Mississippi. So I thought about you. Yeah, the Principal Institute at Mississippi College. So check it out for next year. It's a really good 3-day institute, and they go hard. It wasn't just me. They got activity before me, and I'm all day. And then they got activity after me, after I'm long gone, they still going. So they're getting a lot of information, a lot of good information. I'll speak more about them in a little while. Yolanda McKinney, Mrs. Yolanda McKinney is in the building. Good to see you. She's down in Texas. Chancellor Davis is in Las Vegas, Nevada. AP Patrick Lawrence is in Connecticut. Dr. Robin Snowden, who says, Harambe, we will pull together in Fresno, California. How about them Knicks? How about it? How about it? And if y'all can see the shorts, how about it? Right? Where we at? Michael Benton, Cincinnati, Ohio. Grace Castaneda and is in Minneapolis today. I hear that. Takesha High is in Virginia. Lysandra Brackens is in North Carolina, and Nadira Coley, Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. Dr. Sonia Matthew, National Board Certified Teacher, getting that book together, and I'm going to be working on that forward soon. She got a new book coming soon. Stay tuned, y'all. Where we at? Marsha Poe in San Diego. Good to see you out there in San Diego, Marsha. Hope the weather's good. I'm sure it is. It doesn't get bad in San Diego. Where we at? Rodney Richardson's in Hampton, Virginia. Ronald Pugh is in Cedar Hill, Texas. It's one of the ones I struggle with. I ain't even gonna try this race. Dine Scam Zeal 7388, man. Louisiana, I messed that up, but my heart is in the right place, right? Fatima Nelson is in Pennsylvania. We got Erica Harris in Ohio, Mrs. Truesdale in Atlanta, Dr. Rella Hicks is in Augusta, GA, Georgia. Retired Principal Dorothy Makiva Jeter is where we at in Calumet City, Illinois. Create and Educate, Dr. Tammy, Dr. Sheikah Houston, Dr. Tammy Taylor, the doctors. They're in the building. And speaking of them, Sean Hurt, 10 o'clock every Saturday morning. He was experiencing some technical issues this morning, but he got a little something in. But a little something in. But that's 10 o'clock, Facebook Live, YouTube for all of us. Followed by Create and Educate again, Sheikah and Tammy, then yours truly, and then rounded out on Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern, Principal Josh Tovar, Dr. Madi Moreno. All right. Make sure you tune in to all of us, right? All of us. That's important stuff. Dina Freeman, Queens, New York. I see you, Dina. Good to see you. I said Dr. Makiva Jeter. We got David Bell, Benton Harbor, Michigan. We got Chapman family down in Northern Virginia from Shanita Chapman. Good to see you. Good to see you. And the queen of the castle is in the building, Kimberly Broughton Kafele. Yeah, we doing this basketball thing heavy tonight. We going to see Liberty tonight, though. They play the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark will be in the building, so we'll see how that game goes, man. I'm just in this basketball groove right now. You know, I'm getting ready to shut it down, y'all. I do see you, Tracy Berry McGee. I see you, and good to see you. I should say September Daniels I see you. Jacqueline Harriet, Nova Scotia. I see you. Tony McClenny, Battle Creek, Michigan. I see you in the building. I'm getting ready to shut it down, y'all. I see you, Charlena Hattie, out north on Norfolk, Virginia. But let me get it started by saying, Melissa Jones Chuno, I see you. That's Dr. Melissa Jones Chuno. Good morning. Greetings. Welcome to week 319 consecutively of the AP and New Principles Academy. Hey, y'all. You know, I'm solo today. I'm solo on Saturdays forever, right? This is the first year. Like every year, I say I'm gonna be solo Saturday, and I wind up giving those dates up to people that I really want on or that really want to be on, whatever it is. I'm not doing that anymore. First Saturday is mine. So, you know, as Luther said, I'm just going to take my time singing these love songs. I'm just taking my time today, you know. So with my announcements, with my monologue, with my topic, I'm just taking my time. I don't have to rush. I don't have to read somebody's bio. You know, I don't have to make sure that I give somebody good time to get the information out there. It's just me, man. You know, so let me bring it down a little bit. And let me ask you the question that I always ask you. What were your wins last week? Even those of you who are on summer vacation, right? Somewhere along the way, I just feel it that this work entered your mind. I mean, if you're on vacation and you're a principal, I mean, if school is over and you're a principal, chances are you're not on vacation, right? You know, I'm talking about the folks who finish up in May. You're probably still in there, right? And you'll be in there for a while. You'll take a week or two off and do what you do vacation wise, and then you'll be back. So I'll ask you, in that context, what were your wins, right? Maybe just in terms of the planning, maybe in terms of summer school, right? Maybe in terms of just bringing it down. You know, bringing it down is a win because some of us are not good at that. Some of us are up here, and it could be unhealthy, right? So just the ability to bring it down. No, I'm not going to read policy. No, I'm not going to read school related stuff. No, I'm literally going to chill. That's a win because a lot of times during the school year we don't have that opportunity, right? So I'm counting that even that as a win. But then the follow up is always, what will you do next week to take your game to another level, your leadership game to new heights? What will you do, right? That's important. And if you took it down and you're going to take it down for another week, that's it, right? That's what you're doing next week. I'm taking it down. I am protecting my mental health. I am protecting my emotional health. I am protecting my sanity. So I'm not going to engage in this work. In fact, I'm not even watching Kafele, right? Principal Kafele, AP, New Principals Academy. I don't even want to see him because he's talking the works. And I'm not mad at you if that's you, right? Obviously, you're not on here right now, but it could be somebody else that said, I'm not watching that this week, right? Because I don't want to be disconnected from this for a little while. I got no problem with that. That's good stuff too. But make sure you come back, right? So let's jump into these announcements real quick, and then I'll get to the monologue, and then we got an important topic today. Shout out to Summer Instructional Institute, Richland 1 School District in Columbia, South Carolina. I had a great day with the folks, leaders and teachers and so forth. Just had a great day with them all. We talked about a lot of things. So and shout out to Principal Brenton Coe, who's doing a dynamite job at C.A. Johnson High School in Columbia, Richland 1 School District. Shout out to Principals Institute at Mississippi College in Clinton, Mississippi. We had a great day too, all day long. Just talking instructional leadership. That's my thing these days, just talking instructional leadership. So we had a great day. So shout out to them. And between the two that I just named, I hope some of y'all are actually here with us live as we talk about parental and community engagement today. Welcome to the first timers. But if this is in fact your first time on this platform, do know that you've missed 318 sessions. That's a lot, man. You missed 318. But the beauty is you can watch, you can see them because they're all sitting on YouTube, right? Go to AP and New Principals Academy and binge watch the 318 sessions, all these extraordinary guests, and then my solo sessions, and then the AP interviewing videos. Man, it's amazing. I made those videos back in I don't know, 8 years ago, something like that. 2017, something like that. Somewhere there about. And man, people still reaching out, man. I got the job. Or people saying, I heard about your videos, but I can't find them. Where can I find them? All that kind of stuff, man. But the thing that really gets me is when someone says, I watched the Academy, but I heard you had these videos, right? Like, come on. They on the same YouTube channel, right? Right. So that kind of bugs me, right? I'm like, you watch the Academy, but you don't realize that playlist is there with the interview videos, the public speaking videos, the best-selling book videos. Some of y'all probably sitting there like, I ain't know those were there myself. You got videos on becoming a professional speaker. Yeah, 9 hours of free content. Best-selling author. Yeah, 5 hours of free content. I don't charge you for this. I just say, sit down and watch it, and I'll see you in the winner's circle. How about that? Right. But that's just how I get down. Right. We're all different. 2 books to support this platform right here. What is my value instructionally to the teachers I supervise and the assistant principal 50? Do my other books support it? Of course. But these are the core books, right? It's hard when it's reversing like this, but get it right. There we go. What is my value instructionally to the teachers I supervise and the assistant principal 50? If you don't have a copy, get yourself a copy. You probably do because the books stay like in the top 20, top 10 on Amazon. They're always there. So I'm pleased about that. So thank you for that. Right. Let's go. Y'all, I won't be making these announcements too much longer because these dates will be here. June 28, June 29, I'll be at the ISTE ASCD conference. I'm doing a pre-conference session on the 28th. That's on a Sunday, 8 to 1. And then I'm doing a featured presentation on Monday. Go to ascd.org, ascd.org, register. And I'd love to see you in the building on June 28th, June 29th, right? Then I'm going home for a week. That's the July 4th week. I'll be home, right? Chilling. Then I'll be back on the road the week after. School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele. That's one of the reasons I'll be back on the road because that's July 9 and 10 in Savannah, Georgia. Love to see you in the building. So go to principalkafele.com, principalkafele.com and register, right? Just go there, scroll down on the homepage, click the register, the tab, the link, and register. And I'll see you in Savannah. 2 days. We talking leadership. 2 days, right? Want to see you in the building. And then next to lastly, the National Association of Elementary School Principals. I'll be doing 2 sessions on July 14th. Register for the entire conference. I think it's the 13th through the 15th, but I'll be doing 2 sessions on the 14th, right? So come on through. I think one of them's a featured session. So come on through and support your brother. And then on the next day, I'll be in Nashville, Southern Regional Educational Board. That's SREB. They'll be there for the week, but I'll be there for the 1 day, July 15th. So go to sreb.org for naesp.org, right? So those are my only public presentations for the summer. Everything else is school district related, and that's not something I can be on here saying join me. That's for those school districts, but these are public. And then I got that big announcement that y'all been waiting for. Listen, y'all. And I told you I'm taking my time today, man. So, I'm talking a little slower because I don't have to rush to get a guest up here. Listen, for a long time, I have been grappling with how do I engage with the people that tune in, the fam, beyond me on the screen and you in the comments section, but the overwhelming majority not in the comments section. How do I engage with folks who may want to engage or who I may want to engage with? And talk about the things that we talk about, particularly my solo Saturday topics, right? So I finally came up with something. I hope that many of you will be able to do this. Starting in September, the first Saturday in September, my solo session will be 1 hour only. I promise that for the reason that I'm getting ready to explain. My solo session will be from 11 to 12. That's it. And then at 12 o'clock, we're going to switch over to Zoom. And on Zoom, we'll dissect whatever I talked about in here or other topics that are not a part of these 2 books. So in other words, I'm going to want you all to stay on, and we're going to switch platforms and go to Zoom so that we can engage with one another. Now, what does that look like? How do we do it? Listen carefully. I'll be making this announcement for all summer, right? But I'm not going to explain it in as much depth. I need you to go to I have 2 Facebook pages. One of them I don't use as often, but I'm glad I left it there because now I got a reason to use it. I have a Facebook page called AP and New Principals Academy, not to be confused with the YouTube channel. Please get that one out of your mind for a minute. I have a Facebook page called AP and New Principals Academy. If you're not on Facebook, then I'll give you an alternative, right? But for now, go to that page, go to the inbox, and simply write, I'm down or I'm in. Either one. I don't need no paragraph, dissertation, nothing. Just say, I'm down or I'm in. You can do that right now. Just go to the AP New Principals Academy Facebook page, right? And then next to that, write your email address, not your work email. Write your personal email address. Why am I doing it this way instead of like one of my sons was saying, why don't you just put a Google page out there and let them sign up? Because I'm going to be very particular about who comes in here. That's why. So I'm going to ask you, once you get the link, do not share it. Right? This ain't for the world. This ain't for everybody. This is for family, right? So I don't want to put it out there in a way that the world can access it and then be in here and then be disrespectful when they get in here, right? I want to control that. So when you go in, if I don't recognize you, yes, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm going to your Facebook page and I want to see who you are. If you don't have a picture in your profile, don't do it. Don't even say I'm down or I'm in. I need a picture in the profile. I need to see who you are, right? Because I've had some, as they would say, bad actors jump on this platform, right? So I want to control that. So again, go to my AP New Principals Academy Facebook page, not my Principal Kafele. Don't go there. I can't have you fill up my inbox there because I get hundreds of them a day. So I don't want this to be a part of it. So go to the AP New Principals Academy Facebook page, go to the inbox and simply say, I'm in or I'm down, and then write your email address. I will be in touch with you late summer to send you the link, which I won't want you to share. And then now we can get on the platform at 12 o'clock on Saturdays. We do this, what we're doing right now at 11, and at 12, we just switch over, and now we could engage with one another, right? And that'll be at 12 o'clock. And I'll say right now from 12 to 1, but the fact of the matter is it'll be from 12 to whenever. I usually don't have things on my plate on Saturday afternoons. So if we go over 1 o'clock, I have no problem with that. You can just leave, right? But there may be others that are like, man, I just want to have this conversation because I'm dealing with some stuff, right? So that's so that's how we do. Or I need some clarity on whatever, so that's how we're gonna do that. But I just want to be in position that I can engage with y'all, right? And that you can engage with me beyond, sitting on in your wherever you sitting and you watching me and my guest on a screen. I want to let's talk. Let's talk about what you're doing. Right. That's what this is about. So that's my big announcement. I'm gonna say it one more time. AP New Principals Academy Facebook page. Go there right now and just say I'm down or I'm in. Here's my email address. And I'll be in touch with you late summer, right? In terms of just sending you the link. I ain't gonna be talking to you. Ain't no need to. I'll just send you the link. And then I'll see you on the first Saturday in September at 12 o'clock after the 11 o'clock broadcast. See you at 12 o'clock on Zoom, and we'll talk, right? We'll have some good conversation, right? All right, enough said, y'all. I think I made myself clear. I see y'all comments, right? I think we good. Yeah, thank you, Jacqueline. Yeah. So let's go, y'all. I got a lot to talk about today. I got my monologue first, man. I'm gonna take my time with my monologue. I told you I'm solo today, so it's like, monologue session. It's all the same. They spill into each other. My monologue topic is 3 questions. Who am I? What am I about? What is my most recent evidence? Let me give you that again. Who am I? What am I about? What is my most recent evidence? Let me put this into the second person. As a leader, who are you? What are you about? And what is your most recent evidence? Where you going with this, Principal Kafele? Check this out, man. I told you I'm gonna take my time. If I had a guest waiting, the portion I'm getting ready to share, I wouldn't even share it with you. But since I have no guest, let me dive in. Let me take a deeper dive. August 2006, I get invited to speak at a school in Montgomery, Alabama. I was so excited to go there, but not for the obvious reasons of having the opportunity to speak. I was still a principal, and I still had 5 more years of principal leadership. But this was the summer. I had some days, and I went down there. My excitement was the fact that when I finished that workshop, it wasn't a speech, it was a full day workshop. I'm going to make my way to Selma, Alabama, to the Edmund Pettus Bridge. That was my excitement, not the workshop. So I kept looking at my watch, and finally it was time. And I had already asked the principal, because I didn't know anything about renting cars and all that stuff yet. I was still a principal, so I didn't really know the business yet, how all that stuff works. The selecting the same hotel chain, the same airline chain, all that. I didn't know any of that, right? I'm a principal. That's where my focus is. So I asked the principal, can you drive me to Selma? So she gladly did and understood why. And she invited 2 teachers who were part of her inner circle. So the 3 of us drove, we rode in the car, I should say. She drove all the way to Selma, right? Down highway, I believe it's Highway 80. And there were all these curves and hills. And it was a long drive, which just heightened my appreciation of that trail. I didn't realize it was going to take that long, almost an hour to get from Montgomery to Selma. I could because I knew about the Selma to Montgomery march, so I didn't think it would be that long, even though I knew it was a 4-day march. But by car, I just didn't imagine it. So as we were going up and down these hills, and I'm like, man, Dr. King, but and all the other marches, John Lewis, etc., marched over these hills. These are high hills, right? Then down and then back up and these curves. And I'm like, man, right? So the people are talking in the car and I don't hear them because I'm fixated on this experience. So finally we turned this corner on that same highway 80, and there I could see the bridge from a distance. My heart started like boom, boom, boom. And then when we got there, the principal pulled over and I said, Principal, can I walk by myself? And she said, yeah, nah, you could feel free. And they stayed down in the parking lot. And I walked that bridge. And when I got to the apex of the bridge, a question popped into my head. Hear me, somebody. The question said, Principal Kafele, who are you as a leader? Now, let me give you context. And I told you I'm taking my time, y'all. Let me give you some context. The question came from above, y'all. It said, as a leader of a school, who are you? Why does that matter? It's particularly for a monologue on this platform, because I was on a bridge where 600 plus marchers marched the first day. See, the King wasn't with them on the first day, March 7th. He joined them on March 9th, which I'm not going to get into all that history. Go to read the books. Go to Google. So March 7 was Bloody Sunday. So March 7, they marched to the other side of the bridge, and then that becomes Bloody Sunday. That becomes when the Alabama State Troopers and Selma Police Force beat those marchers down. Men, women. John Lewis, Congressman John Lewis, a cracked skull from a police billy club. Amelia Boynton of Selma, an activist, beaten down, right? So I'm on that same bridge in 2006. And the question says, who are you as a leader? That thing stung me, y'all, because it happened while I was on that particular bridge. And it said to me, you've got to elevate your game. You got to go to another level, a level you have not been yet up to this point as a school leader. Who are you? So I answered the question. I'm not going to get into all that specificity, but I answered the question, and it was positive. I'll give you that much. So I'm standing there, and then a second question came to me. And the question was, what are you about? So who are you was a question of identity. What are you about was a question of mission. And it's the question coming from above saying, what is your leadership mission? What are you about? And I answered the question. Right? And it was positive. But then a third question, the final question, popped into my head, popped into my soul. It said, what is your most recent evidence? Ooh. Meaning, whatever that is that you said with question one, your answer, whatever that response was for question two, your answer, that third question came from above. It said, prove it. What'd you do lately that confirms that this is who you are? Wow. Y'all know, those of you who are regulars, you know that I have taken ownership of those questions, and I have used those questions on this platform many times. But I haven't necessarily given you the context of the questions until today. That's the context. Then I held my phone up in the air and I called my mother. I said I wanted her to feel this energy. I called my wife and I called my man, Dr. Vincent Stallings. Y'all know that name. I called him, right? I said, I just want you to feel what I'm feeling right now. right? That energy on that bridge. Now, since then, I've been back to that bridge, I would say at least 25 times, right? I just keep going back. I keep going back, right? But now let's flip it on to you. Taking my time singing these love songs, baby. Listen, as a leader or as an aspiring leader, or maybe you're a teacher, or maybe you're on here as a parent, or whatever you're on here for, who are you? I'm not asking you no surface question. I'm asking you to go deep. Go deep. Who are you as a leader? What is your identity as a leader? But then I ask you the second question. Hey, fam out there, what are you about? Like, what is your leadership mission? And let's say right now you sitting there listening to me and you said, man, Principal Kafele, I don't know. I haven't really given that thought. I could use the word. That's a damn good question. I hear some of the other podcasts. It gets deeper. It gets worse than that. So, so I'm saying to you, if you sitting there right now and you said, man, I'm not sure. I'm not asking you your school mission. I'm asking you your personal mission, your leadership mission. What's that thing that guides you through that building every day? What's that thing that drives you through that building every day? What's that thing that leads you throughout that building every day? What's that thing that stays here and here, right? It's on your mind, it's in your heart. Every day you say, this is me. This is what I'm about. This is what's got to get done. This must happen under my watch. This must happen while I'm leader. This must happen with these young people. This must happen through this staff. Can you answer that? And chances are there's someone that's like, ooh, man, I haven't really given it that in-depth thought. Or it could be someone on the call right now and you say, I was that, but circumstances made me lose that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If circumstances allowed you to lose that, then it wasn't really yours in the first place. You didn't really have it clutched to you. You didn't really have it. You didn't hold it tight to your vest, right? So it was never really yours. It was just surface yours, because when the stuff got a little hot, when the stuff started hitting the fan, you let it go. Well, I don't need to chase that. Let me chase something that's a little less challenging. See, that's a little less controversial, right? That'll draw less attention to me. Let me move in that direction. Then all you were doing was faking the funk, man. That thing wasn't really yours. See, that's why those questions are so critical. Who am I? What am I about? But see, where we bring it home, that last one. What is my most recent evidence? See, that's the proof. What is the evidence? Anybody could talk the talk, man. Anybody can do that. We all can talk the talk. We can BS anybody. But where's the evidence that you really have the authenticity that you've been promoting? That's what is my most recent evidence? That's what it's answering. So I'm encouraging you in this extended monologue, right? Take those 3 questions that were born on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, on August 28th, 2006, when I ventured out there after speaking at a school in Montgomery. Had I not been on that bridge, those questions in that sequence, in that connection to one another, would not have come my way. I haven't had questions from above, those kind of questions. Other questions, yes, but those kind of questions, they haven't come to me since then. Those questions came to me that one day, and I'm glad that I held on to them. When I got back to my school, my staff came back September 1 or 2. We spent that whole opening staff meeting on those 3 questions. That's all we did. Those 3 questions. That is all we did. That whole that teacher handbook that we give and all that kind of stuff, we didn't even get to it. There's no need. We just talked about those 3 questions. Hey, Kavita Byfield, I'm saying this to you only because you're from Savannah. Don't forget my School Leadership Institute will be in Savannah on July 9 and 10. Go to principalkafele.com for more information. And if you're not registered, come on and join us on July 9 and 10 in Savannah, Georgia. Let me get back to my topic. I had to do that, y'all. It says Savannah on that screen. So let me wrap it up, y'all, so I can get to my topic today. Hold up your mirror and ask yourself, who am I as a leader? But then ask yourself, what, y'all see my orange juice in the mirror. What am I about as a leader? But then bring it home and say, what is the most recent evidence? In other words, again, anybody can say the right thing, but does your life's journey, your work's journey, support, back up who you said you are and what you said you're about? I mean, check it out. I've been sitting in front of this camera for 319 sessions because I said I'm committed to this. But my evidence is I do it. When Christmas falls on Saturday, I've sat behind this camera on Christmas Day with this academy. When New Year's Day falls on a Saturday, I sit behind this camera on New Year's Day. When my birthday is on a Saturday, I sit behind this camera. When I'm on a vacation in the Caribbean, I sit behind this camera. I'm always behind this camera on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, old time 10:55, right? Because I'm committed to this, because within my soul, there are people who benefit from this platform. So when I talk about who am I and what am I about, the evidence, what is my most recent evidence? That I make sure that I put in this work. I plan, and then we go. Enough said, y'all. Enough said. I got a whole topic, man. I got a whole topic. Parental and community engagement through the lens of the leadership. I got a whole topic, man. I got to do one thing, y'all. I'm gonna take myself off the screen for a hot second because I need to pump some air in this house, man. I'm starting to sweat. Just give me a sec. I got 2 shirts on, right? Give me a second. All right, we good, man. I need a little air, man. The air is on, but I needed to be frigid in this piece because I got 2 shirts on, man. Right? I'm rocking Knicks, but I ain't want y'all seeing my shoulders and all that stuff, man. You know how that is. All right, y'all. Parental and community engagement through the lens of the leadership. You know, I don't know if I've ever done this topic before, whether it be with me. I know I didn't do it with me, but with any guest. I don't know if we've really taken a dive into parental engagement before. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Nothing's really ringing in my head that we did. So I decided, I said, I got these 20 questions that I want to throw at you. 20. And that seems like I can go fast, but chances are, unless I don't mind going over and just have it on tape for you all to see it later, I know I'm gonna need some time. Will I finish this? Well, nah, we'll see. We'll see. So I'm gonna put the questions on the screen so that you can write them, but I'm not going to keep them on the screen. because you know I make them reels now. Y'all know, y'all see me doing them reels. Them reels be accumulating a lot of numbers. You know, I did a reel. I forgot which one it was, but it's at 76,000. Right? It's on my Facebook page. It's on Facebook. You just click the Reels tab and scroll down when I'm wearing that Atlanta Braves hat. And it's got 76,000 views, you know, which is kind of incredible, right? So I forgot which one it is. No, I know which one it was. It was the one where I said I cringe when I don't hear the principal's message in the morning. That's the one. I cringe when I don't hear the principal's morning message to launch the day. That thing has 76,000 views now. I put it up about 3 weeks ago, maybe, right? So yes, I'm not gonna keep them words on here because I do them reels. So I need that New York Knicks to be shining through, baby. You know, so here we go. I got this first one, y'all. Y'all get that pen out. Get that pen out, get that paper out of your phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever it is you use. And I got this question for you. In what ways does parental engagement reflect my leadership? So I'm gonna talk about the parent side for a while first, and then I'm gonna go over to the community side later on. So y'all stay with me, man. In what ways does parental engagement reflect my leadership? One more time. In what ways does parental engagement reflect my leadership? I decided to do this session with absolutely no notes. The only notes I have are the questions you'll see on the screen, and that's what's in front of me. But I decided no notes on this one. We coming off the dome on this one. Hey, y'all, here's what I'm saying. Parental engagement, as some would say parental involvement, as some others would say parental and family engagement, right? So any of them, I'm talking about the same thing. But I'm asking you, when you think about your leadership, when you think about the monologue that I just delivered, I'm asking you the role of parents, and we'll get into specificity of that as I unpack these 20 questions. You know, everything with me is self-reflective, right? Everything, including Saturday Academy when I do my monologues. I mean, when I do my monologues, but also when just anything I do is self-reflective. Books, writings, you name it. So I'm asking you to just kind of reflect back on the year. Some of you are still in the year. The year will end later this month, but most of you finished. So to what extent did parental engagement reflect this thing you call leadership as it relates to you, right? So you have your leadership. Your leadership is like no one else's leadership. Your leadership is you. So when you think about not you, the leader, because you know, always make that distinction, but your leadership. What role does parental engagement play within your leadership? How does parental engagement reflect who you are as a leader? How does your leadership reflect parental engagement? Right? So we can look at it both ways. So the premise here is that your leadership is incomplete if parental engagement is not an inherent part of what you do, right? Your leadership is incomplete if parental engagement is not a priority of your leadership. It's got to be a priority of your leadership. It's got to be, in essence, who you are as a leader. So in terms of the what is it and all that, we're going to get into that, right? I'm not there yet. I'm surface right now. So I want you to, you know, Josh told me to clean the mirror, so I'm going to follow instructions. Hey, Josh, I'm going to clean as best I can. I don't have my paper towel and water, right? So yeah, it still got spots, Josh. We got to deal with it, right? But I want you to hold up your mirror, and I want you to ask yourself, right? I don't want y'all keep seeing my juice. I got juice here. See, like, you know, when Nick's orange and blue sky. So I got water here, but I got the orange juice here today, y'all. So see, leadership means a lot of things, and I'm just asking you, is parental engagement something that you said I can't be my complete self as leader if parental engagement, family engagement is not a priority of my work? It's not central in my work. Imagine, if you will, you trying to be the best version of yourself as leader, but parents are not involved in the process. Parents are not engaged in the process. Imagine that for a minute. Then I have to ask you, I got to question that. Then how are you getting to those next levels if they're not there? Because it's one thing, and we'll talk about what the parental engagement looks like as I unpack this, right? But I'll at least say this. So, in what does the communication look like between you and parent? And obviously, I don't even have to say this. Obviously, I don't mean for an incident of the undesirable behavior. I don't mean that. I mean the communication, the ongoing communication between you, meaning your school, and parents. Is it there? And if it is there, what does it look like? Right? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Right? So that matters. So when you look at your leadership, when you reflect back on the previous year, can you say that parental engagement was an inherent part of what you did this year? That's number one. Let's go to number two. Am I satisfied with the level of parental engagement under my leadership? Are you satisfied? Let's say you are. Then my question to you would be, what makes you satisfied? What did you do? Now let me give you this, and this is not for the people who tuned in after my big announcement. I mean, it is, but you don't have any context. So let's look at this question. Am I satisfied with the level of parental engagement under my leadership? Now, that's me talking to my camera, and that's you, those of you on the other side who don't comment, and then those of you on the other side who do comment. And that's not a critique of those who don't comment. Commenting is not for everybody, right? But now with the big announcement that I made, right, that now we're going to do 1 hour on screen here, and then the second hour on Zoom. Now we could take a question like this. Am I satisfied with the level of parental engagement under my leadership? Now we go on Zoom. Now I'm not the star no more. Now you become the star. And now we can have a conversation about your dissatisfaction, or a conversation about your satisfaction, or a conversation about your kind of like, I'm somewhere in the middle. That type of thing. Y'all got that? See, that's why I want to go. That's why I want to do this starting in September, go live. So that now it's not just me reading a question and giving you my commentary, but now it's like, all right, let's dissect this. Let's all get better. Let's all grow. Right? So if you missed the announcement, I'm going to make it again at 12 o'clock. And then I'm going to make it again at the ending of this broadcast. So stay tuned. I'm not going to do it right now, but at 12 o'clock, I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to tell you, give you the announcement again, but I'm going to be brief. I'll be briefer than I was in the beginning. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. Yolanda, application. So am I satisfied? So let me ask you this question. Let's say you're dissatisfied. Let's say you're or unsatisfied. Let's say, nah, it's not where I needed it to be. Then you know that the follow-up question, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Just be dissatisfied? Just be unsatisfied and then go into the new year unsatisfied with what? What are you gonna do? Like what is the plan? See, that's what we're gonna talk about when we get to September. Now we can engage. What you going to do? I'm going to hold y'all accountable. What are you going to do? What will you do differently that now I am highly satisfied with where we are, with whether it be parental engagement or whatever. Right? So, but if you sitting there right now or standing there or on your treadmill or doing whatever you do, vacuuming your floor, and you know you're not satisfied, I got some things I need to work on with the work I do going into the new year, new school year. So what you going to do? That's my question. so that parental engagement is maximized, is at a premium. That's where you go. That's where you stand. All right, let's go. Number 3. What will I do differently or better toward increasing parental engagement next year? Oh, I said I was going to put these on the screen. I'm sorry. So that second one, am I satisfied with the level of parental engagement under my leadership? If you needed to see that, or if you're taking screenshots, go ahead and do it, right? And then do it real quick because I'm getting ready to put number 3 up. Number 3, what will I do differently or better toward increasing parental engagement next year? So let's compare the 2 and 3. Number 2 asked, just are you satisfied? Number 3 said, okay, you're not completely satisfied. So what is the plan moving forward? What will you do differently? But I haven't said all day. Hit that share button for me. Hit that repost, retweet. I put us back on X and LinkedIn today, and I already see the difference. So I guess some folks are just stuck in their platforms, right? So wherever you're on, let others know that we're here and we're talking parental engagement, parental involvement. Hit that like button as well. YouTube, make sure you hit that like button for me. That's how we activate the algorithms for other leaders to be able to tune in. I have no interest in folks who are not in school leadership or have no interest in school leadership to be on this platform. So I don't try to expand beyond those boundaries, but I just want those folks on. All right, let's go. So what will I do differently or better toward increasing parental engagement next year? So I'm saying that while you're in your preparation and planning for next school year, and you're looking at your budget and you're looking at curriculum and you're looking at instruction and you're looking at all those kinds of things, make sure that parental engagement is a part of those things that you're looking at that you've targeted for next year. And as you do, you ask yourself, okay, what do we do this year? And then you ask yourself, did it work? Was it effective for us? Did it get the parents involved the way we need them to be involved? And let me give you some examples with that. Let's not just talk in general terms. So you've got this youngster. I want to pick on one youngster. You got this youngster who engages in behaviors that really get under your skin on a regular basis, right? That youngster's in your school, but you see these little sparks of greatness in that youngster. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Because you know you have those youngsters in your buildings, so it's there. So maybe so for example, he's leading kids. He's a leader, and he's leading young people in the wrong direction, right? So now he's an opinion leader. He's a thought leader. He's got kids who gravitate to him for whatever the reason, even though he's engaged in negative behaviors, destructive behaviors, undesirable behaviors, but they gravitate to him. So now, as you get yourself past the fact that he's aggravating you, he's keeping you from being able to accomplish certain things. But now you go deeper in your assessment of this youngster, and you say, "But wait a minute, wait, but he's a leader, but he's got personality." But he's magnetic for so many of his peers, not just the ones in his class. Well, you're going to seize on that. You're going to seize on that. This kid has a talent that's not being used the way it could be used. It's being used counterproductively. So now you say, the parent and I need to have a relationship, so that we can work collaboratively toward tweaking this youngster to seeing the world through a different lens. But as I spent a whole lot of time in Mississippi the other day speaking on, you got to have the communication skills, because the parent might be as difficult as the child. But if you got the communication skills and you understand how to speak to different people differently, and you've read the room and you know exactly, you've learned exactly how to talk to this parent. Ooh, now it's a win for everybody. It's a win for you. It's a win for the parent, but ultimately it's a win for the child. So now instead of this child has been disruptive and it's disciplinary referral after disciplinary referral and detention after detention and suspension after suspension, you said, no, I need to approach this youngster differently because I see some talents that are there. They're manifesting every day, but they're being utilized in a way that's counterproductive, right? So let's go back to my question. What will I do? In fact, I'll even put it on the screen again. What will I do differently or better toward increasing parental engagement next year? So now everything I just said with the youngster, but now you got to have a conversation with mom, right? Or dad, guardian, whomever. Let me tell you why in terms of what's on the forefront of my mind. Because parent may have already embraced that her youngster, this is the world we live in, so don't get mad at the messenger. Parent may have already embraced that my son, my daughter is not going to amount to much. Parent may have embraced that. Parent may have embraced, I can't do anything with them. You gonna tell me you never heard that before? Then y'all ain't in my world. Parent may have already embraced, I don't know what to do with them. Right? So here you are. Ooh, but I do. But I need you to work with me. Now watch the even bigger win. As you earn the trust of parent now ears are open for you. And now you're in position to not only help youngster, you with me, y'all follow me, but now you have put yourself in position to be an asset to the parent. Let's say the parent is nowhere near potential for him or herself. Now you've put yourself in position to be asset for the parent, to help parent not only be a better parent for their child, but be more productive for themselves. You may have put yourself in position to help parent get from point A to point B in life. And I'm not talking about parenting now. Now we're talking about the ripple effect of you seeing just a spark of greatness in a child that everybody else saw as a child that's not going to be a winner. So you got people in the world who are talking about this child who are saying, oh, he's going to be in the youth house, juvenile detention. Subsequently, he'll be in a penitentiary or he'll be in a cemetery. That's the kid I'm talking about. So there are people having that conversation. How often? Daily. It's just a matter of time. He's going to be in jail. He's going to be in a juvenile detention. He's going to be dead. He will not live to be 21. People are having that conversation in your building, in your hallways, in your teacher's lounge, in your parking lot, or through their text messaging. Oh, him? Oh, he'll be dead in no time. But now here comes you. You got a different lens on. You got a whole different disposition. And you saw greatness in that child that no one else saw. So now you forge relationship with parent. But I'm gonna tell you someone else you forge relationship with. Y'all gotta bear with me. This is what happens when you don't have notes in front of you. I ain't got no notes. All I got is the titles that you see on the screen. So I'm on the dome right here. So here's the thing. You're also in position to educate your staff. See, but you got to know how to talk to them. Because, I mean, as leader, you have them. You have an audience at a staff meeting or wherever. You have an audience to speak to them, but it doesn't mean you have an ear. See, make sure you understand the difference between an audience and an ear. They're not equivalent. Because you have people in front of you does not equate to you have their ear. You just got people who out of compliance because they work for you, they'll sit there and hear you. They'll listen to you, right? They'll hear you. They'll hear words, but they may not be internalizing your words. They may not be processing your words because you don't have their ear to the extent that they say, ooh, like my man Sean Hurt says, Principal talking good this afternoon. See, that's where you want to be. That they sitting there in that room, they saying, he talking real good. Now, you got them because you got their ear. You see how that works? You got their ear now. So now all that deficit talk they're doing and all that deficit thinking that they're doing, when they talking about he gonna wind up in jail, youth house, cemetery, now you able to shift them because you got them. But by the same token, you're speaking to his parents. Let's go deeper with this one, man. I hope I could finish today's agenda, man. Let's go deeper with it. Maybe his father is not in his life. All right. So you said, I gotta find him. Now that's assuming that it's cool with mom that you find him. You got to figure all that part out. I ain't got time to be doing all that. You do have intelligence, so you can figure some of that out. So let's say all things being equal, and mother has no problem with you engaging with father. All right, now you engage with father, but your role with father, you doing some teaching now. You educating him. And you reminding father, do you want to be the father that 20 years from now, 30 years from now, your child is successful and he can't attribute any of that success to you? Do you really want to be that guy? See, you got to be able to have that conversation, because that's the conversation. See, y'all hear me? That's why I can't wait till September, man. I hope y'all down with me. In fact, it's 12 o'clock. Let me time out, y'all. Time out. To those of you that tuned in late, starting September, this is the short version. You got to go back and rewind this bad boy at the end to get the full version. We're going to go from 11 to 12 on Solo Saturday, which is every first Saturday. And then from 12 to whenever, 12 to 1 theoretically, but if it goes longer, then I'm good with it. We're going to be on Zoom. So we're going to get off of this platform. We go on to Zoom so that now we can talk about whatever my Solo Saturday topic was. We can engage with one another, right? We can dissect it from your vantage point. You can become the teacher, right? And now we can engage. So if this sounds like something you want to be a part of, then go to my Facebook page called AP and New Principals Academy, not my Facebook page called Principal Kafele. Go to my Facebook page called AP and New Principals Academy. Go to my inbox and simply write, I'm down, right? Or I'm in. And then write your email address, not your work email, because that'll go to spam or something, right? Give me your personal email address, and then I will reach out to you with the link in late summer so that we can kick it off in September. First Saturday in September, whatever my topic is, we go on here and then we get down having a conversation dissecting it, right? So again, go to AP New Principals Academy Facebook page, not YouTube channel, Facebook page, click the inbox and simply say, I'm down. You ain't got to give me on no long talking, just I'm down or I'm in, and then give me your personal email and I'll be in touch. That's it. All right, back to the show. All right, y'all, let me move. Number 4. I don't know if I'm gonna finish today, y'all. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Number 4. What is it about my school that attracts our parents to it? That's one of them ones you could yell out, ouch. Right? Let me give it to you again. What is it about my school that attracts our parents to it? Right? Let's go. Let me read it to you one more time since I don't have it on the screen. What is it about my school that attracts our parents to it? Here's what I'm asking y'all. Yeah, okay. I thought I skipped one. Here's what I'm asking you. Yeah, we good. What's an example? Here's an example I could use. It's a lot of people in the world, in particularly in the U.S., that watch this platform, right? Not at the same time, that I know, but it's a lot. You know, it's a rare day that I go somewhere and there's no one in the room that never heard of this, right? Everywhere I go, there are people in the room. They say, "Oh yeah, I tune in." They may not be the ones like we got some that tune in every week religiously, and I'm grateful for them forever. But I don't mean them. They're just people out here. They just they just they tune in, but there's a reason that they tune in, and that's what I want to hammer home. They're tuning in because, to me, obviously, apparently, evidently, they're getting something out of the platform, whether it be out of me or out of my guest. And if it's out of but that means the platform, right? Whether it be me, the guest, the platform. The platform is giving them something. So therefore, I'm coming back. So a lot of people say to me, I'm not with you live all the time because I got things going on, but I do catch them videos, right? So it's the same thing. That means that you're part of us. So there's a lot of people that tune in, and also to Sean, also to Sheikah and Tammy, and also to Josh and Marty. So I'm saying that to say this: the question, what is it about my school that attracts our parents to it? There's something about the brand of the 4 platforms, and in this case, this platform, that people say, I'm attracted to this. There are other things I can be doing on Saturday or whenever I watch it. There's other people that I could be with, whatever it is. But I see value in this. Okay, fine. And that's the word. I see value in the platform. All right. Well, now let's go to your parents. What is it about my school that attracts our parents to it? We know their children go to the school, but a child can be in a school and we never see the parent. You know that. A child could be in a school, and if you ran into that parent like right outside your home, you wouldn't recognize the parent, and the parent might not recognize you either. So what is it about your school that parent says, I need to have a relationship with it? What is it about your school that parent says, I'm attracted to that building? I'm attracted to that leader. I'm attracted to the people in the building. I'm attracted to what's going on in the building. So maybe, for example, and this is just an example, it kind of gets me ahead of myself, so I won't get deep into it. Maybe you've got some adult-oriented classes in your school that have nothing to do with the children. Indirectly, they do, because their children are in your school. But you've got some kind of classes in there that are career-oriented or motivational, and parent says, I want to be a part of them because they're offering something that's not only helping my child to become a success story, but they've got things in there that are benefiting me as a person, right? Or maybe you've got classes on just parenting to help a parent to become a better parent of their child, which is inclusive of being a better parent educator to their child, right? So in other words, things are happening in that school that parents benefit from. Or maybe your school is such that children are performing at very high levels. Children are performing at very high levels in your school, and parent is attracted to that because I want to see what it is that they're doing that maybe my child transferred in, right? And what is it that they're doing that my child now is not the child he or she was years past? And now there's this attraction to your building. See, your building becomes like a magnet for them. Excuse me. Orange and blue skies, baby. New York Knicks, Knicks in 4. All right. So your building is like a magnet for that reason. Now, I can give you so many other examples, but they're part of my questions. So I'm not going to do that. Just hang with me. Number 5, let's put it on the screen. Y'all give me some comments out there, man. I ain't hearing much from you. Y'all give me some comments, unless you sitting there processing and writing, then I understand. Is my school a welcoming environment for our parents? Whew. Again, is my school a welcoming environment for our parents? Let me tell you something, y'all. I've been to places as the keynote speaker that were not welcoming environments for the speaker or the breakout or the workshop presenter, the seminar presenter. I've been to places that those are just not welcoming environments for me, you know, in terms of how I was greeted. So if they're not, then I can only imagine what it is for the parents when they appear. I was trying to say appear and show up at the same time. So when they appear. So I'm asking you to reflect. Let me hold up the mirror. Appreciate you, Dot McKeever Jeter. Right here, y'all. What is it about my school under my leadership that, yes, my school is a welcoming environment for the parents? You got to ask yourself that question, right? Because now that we're in summer mode, thank you, Mariel, what are we doing to make adjustments? You know, it's like, I'm not asking for parents to invade and take over my school, and now I got to be in your face all day. No, I don't want that. And I make that clear to parents, which is inclusive of, I don't want to suspend students because I don't have time to talk to parents when they bring their kids back. So how about in terms of that conversation? That's not a productive conversation. So I'm saying here, I want parents there, but I want to be able to utilize their talent. Or that after school time or that lunchtime, I want to be able to pour into them. I'm not asking them to monopolize my time. You know this platform, folks, and you know, let me shamelessly plug. This is the priority, instructional leadership. So I'm not trying to spend my day with parents. No, this is the priority. I'm trying to spend my day making sure that teachers are phenomenal. That's the priority. But by the same token, I want my school to be a welcoming environment that parent feels at home and at ease. I feel comfortable in this space. But you know, I'm gonna say something controversial, y'all. I'm saying it up front. I'm getting ready to get controversial. So those of you that get mad at me, just deal with it, right? And I say that respectfully, but I'm getting ready to get controversial. And maybe with this audience, it's not controversial. It may be controversial to a different audience. So you've developed rapport with your parents and they feel welcome there. But you know that you can only go but so far teaching youngster because youngster's still going home to parent. Y'all, in case you missed that, let me get that to you again. You know that you can only go but so far in being a teacher to your students because at the end of the day, they're still going home to their parent, who's the first teacher. So I'm getting ready to be controversial a little bit. Y'all work with me. Let me talk about the hair bonnet. My wife probably upstairs probably said, uh-oh, where he going? Right? That ain't your conversation, buddy. Right? My mother, I don't know. She old school. She may not, I don't know where she at with this, right? But here we go. Here we go. So Mom is showing up at your school for meetings with you with a bonnet on. Daughter sees that. So daughter feels it's acceptable for her to be out in the world with a bonnet on all the time. Right? So now you don't feel comfortable in addressing this, so you leave it alone. And I get it. I get it. I'm going to say it again. I get it. You don't feel comfortable addressing this, so let me leave it alone. So now, because you and the teachers and everyone else left it alone, now the wearing of the bonnet in public places all the time becomes a part of the culture. Y'all don't hear me, man. Y'all don't hear me. I see you, Yolanda. Y'all don't hear me, man. So I'm saying to you, but as you develop rapport and parent sees you as an asset, now you're in position. Or maybe you delegate this to a woman, obvious, because I'm not having the conversation, but to a woman, depending on my rapport, some mothers I can have the conversation actually. Why? Because I did, right? So, but I'm saying, whomever it is, but first you got to have a rapport. You got to have a relationship, because if not, then now this young girl gets a pass, and she's showing up at places that bonnet should be home. I don't know if it goes as far as a job interview. I don't think so. But I will say this: it could be for the McDonald's job. It might be on for the interview, right? And the other minimum wage jobs, not the professional jobs. I would think that they know better. But for the minimum wage job, they might be showing up that way because they may think that it's okay because my mother does it, right? So here's my question. When does the intervention take place? And again, I'm not trying to impose my values on the parent. I'm not. But I just know showing up to certain places with a bonnet or a wave cap. I don't want to sound like I'm just jumping on the young ladies now. Let me, young men as well. See, if you and I don't intervene, then he might think that wave cap is appropriate anywhere, because he's treating the wave cap as a hat. But that wave cap might close doors. I just want you to get in the door, right? I just want you to get in the door. So what did I do? Man, I shouldn't be telling y'all this because I'm only on number 5, right? I got 20, but I'll say this much. I'll say this much. I decided. I said I'm gonna take. I told you this a long time ago, but I'm bringing it back. I decided to take a strong stance on the wave cap when I was a high school principal. I was controversial, y'all. Let me tell you what I did. I said for varsity basketball. I mean, I for school during the day, that's nothing. We're not talking about the kids. I'm talking about the adults. So varsity basketball, we got a packed gym all the time. So I told my security, when the gentlemen are walking in the building, have them take the hats and the weight. You can't wear this in the gym, even if you're not my student. So so I told my security, just politely tell the gentlemen, take the hats off and the wave caps and pull up their pants if sagging. But Mr. Kafele, this is my security. But Mr. Kafele, we can't control that. I said, I don't want that in my gym, right? So if they have a problem with it, send them to me. I'm sitting half court, bottom row. Well, a whole lot of men came to see me. Grown men. Grown A men. And they were initially upset with me. Hey, Kafele, yo, I'm not one of your kids, man. What are you talking about? I can't come in this gym with no hat on. So or no wave cap on. So I would always smile, always. And I said, oh, that's what's up. I said, let me explain it to you. You know, I'm training your sons, y'all. And if it's not your kids, I'm training my boys here. Proper decorum when they in this professional space called a school. So I'm using you as one of my role models. That's all. I'm using you as one of my role models so that when they see you, there's the reinforcement that it's not just Kafele. And they would smile with me. Oh man, Kafele, they high five me, bam. Pull off the hat, pull off the wave cap. I'm down with this, Kafele. And I did not have that as a problem anymore because the word got out all over Newark, New Jersey. When you go to Kafele school, he got certain expectation, and we comply, we conform. That's it. Mic drop. That's it, y'all. That's it. Didn't have to worry about it no more. Graduation, didn't have to worry, nothing. It was over. It's a wrap. Got to know how to talk to people so that we can teach. Let me say it again because I think somebody might have missed that. Got to know how to talk to people so that we can teach. Said differently, got to know how to communicate with people so that we can enlighten, so that we can educate. That's all I did. I wasn't going to go toe to toe with them guys. They'd probably break my neck, right? I'm just going to let them know what my agenda is for my young men in the school. That's all. And they got it. So bonnet, wave cap, we ain't got to cave into that, but you got to know how to talk to people. But again, my whole point was that child's going to become an adult one day, and then it just becomes a never-ending cycle. I want to head it off. See, I like that, Kavita. High expectations and communication are key. That's right. Hey, y'all, let's go. What time is it? 12:22. I'm going to take it to 1 o'clock. Wherever I get, that's where I am, and then I'll do the rest next week. Let me talk a little faster. Next month. Does my staff know how to communicate? Let me put it on the screen. Hang on. Number 6. Does my staff know how to communicate effectively with our parents? We're getting a little bit into the weeds now. The previous ones, I guess they were like preliminary. Now we're getting into the weeds. Does my staff know how to communicate effectively with our parents? Ooh. Let me take that off, y'all, because I do reels and I need my New York showing, right? So listen, hear me, somebody. There's a lot of places that have staff that do not know how to communicate with parents. Them folks exist. And it's across race, ethnicity, culture, all that. There are folks that just don't know how to talk to talk to parents, right? Or don't know how to talk to hostile parents, right? I learned how to talk to hostile parents through experience. And let me tell you how I did it. I did it with silence. When they were hostile. So if parent was hostile, telling me off, cursing me out, yeah, I dealt with that, y'all. I was a principal, 14 years in an urban environment. So if I had that parent that was hostile to me, I did what Ali did, man. I just put up the gloves and protected myself, right? That's I'm being figurative now. And I just took it. I didn't try to stop it. Because, like when Ali, if you go on YouTube, look up when Ali fought George Foreman. I'm not going to use the language Ali used because it will convey the wrong message. But Ali, he just laid on the ropes. He laid back with his forearms up and he protected himself. And George Foreman, being younger than him, bigger than him, everyone knew that Foreman could beat Ali because Ali was beyond his prime. So Foreman, the way he fought, he threw what was called haymakers. He brought him from way back and boom, boom, bam. Right, that's how he punched. So Ali let him do that for 8 rounds. Ali just laid back on the ropes and didn't hit him, but he taunted him. So then after that 8th round, Ali saw, old George's punches coming in slow now. Boom, boom. So he said he wore himself out. He came away from the ropes and knocked him out. He knocked him out. And when I became a principal, I said, that's the tactic. So if parent is hostile, all right, come on in, man. Because I'm not personalized any of that. I know who I am. So when you come in yelling at me, screaming at me, cursing at me, I'm not taking ownership of that. I'm gonna let you do it. And then when all the yelling is going, but at some point it's gonna go ba 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 ba. And when it slows down like that, that's when I say, Mom, have a seat. I'm gonna get a little closer to my camera on this one because y'all ain't gonna believe this, some of y'all. Now that I let Mom get that out of her system, or Dad, that parent, by the time we finish this conversation, is one of my closest allies in the city. Y'all didn't hear me. Because I let that parent get it out of his or her system without me going toe to toe. And now, once it went ba, 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 now we sit down and talk. That is one of my closest allies in the city. That parent has my back. I happen to know that firsthand. See, so I'm saying to you, let's go back to the question. Does my staff know how to communicate effectively with our parents? See, it's easy when a hostile parent comes up and now we fly off the handle. Now we got a war going on. And that's where you come in as teacher, as coach. See, those staff meetings can't be comprised of some administrative minutia. That's a misuse of that time because you don't have a lot of. If you're in a if you're in a unionized district, you probably don't even have your staff all month, right? As far as every week, so you have to maximize that time. So part of that is you being like we talk about you being instructional leader during the day. Well, you got to be that coach during the staff meeting because you may have some parent. That's not the only time you're talking to your staff, but you may have some staff. They think that's the time to go toe to toe. No, but you got to teach them. You got to be in position to teach them. Going back to the first question, one of the first questions, you got to have their ear that they're willing to hear you. See, they'll sit there and go through the motions of listening to you, but they may not hear words you say, or they may not internalize anything you say. But as you earn credibility, earn trust of your staff, now you got their ear. Now you own the room. Now you can begin to teach and coach. And making sure that parents understand how to communicate. I mean, teachers understand how to communicate with staff. Particularly when staff are coming from an entirely different culture from the parents and community. It's a lot there, right? So make sure, I appreciate that. Oh, that's that name I can't pronounce that. I appreciate that 7388, right? So yeah, y'all. That's how you got to do that, right? You get your staff has to know how to communicate with, because see, it's easy for staff to get turned off by parent, parent hanging up on them on the phone when they call for something, parent yelling at them, parent cussing them out on the phone. So since being that I'm making an assumption here, being that you understand this, you're in position to counter it. Now, let's say, I'm assuming everyone on the call now knows about my announcement for September. So now let's say there's some people, just to use as an example, there's some people on here, but Kafele, man, I need to talk this through with somebody, right? All right, that's why we doing this. So now we go to Zoom at 12 o'clock on first Saturday starting in September, and now we could talk this through, right? It's beyond just me lecturing and just giving you what's in my head. Now you giving me specific scenarios, and now we could bounce it. And it doesn't have to just be me because we all on the call. So now someone else who had a similar situation might have something of more substance than I do. See why I want to do this? So that's why I want y'all with me on Zoom on starting in September. So again, go to my AP New Principals Academy Facebook page, not YouTube channel, Facebook page, and go to the inbox and say I'm in or I'm down. That's all. I don't need you giving me no explanation. I don't need you asking me no questions. I'm giving you all the answers. Just, I'm down. I'm in. Leave me your email address, personal, not professional, not your work email. And then I will send you the link at the end of the summer, period. Let's go. Number 7. Let me get it up here. What role do I play toward ensuring that my staff understand our parents and the surrounding community? Let me keep that up there for a minute, but I want to read it again. What role do I play toward ensuring that my staff understand our parents and the surrounding community? You know, I keep saying, because I say this when I'm out in the field. A lot of times when you hear a question like that, in fact, let me put it back up there. It's easy to assume, oh, that's a race question, like white staff, black parents, right? I say it could be, but it doesn't have to be. Because you could be in an urban school, you could be black, but you have moved to a different income and a different lifestyle. And or your parents were always of this higher income and lifestyle. And now you got urban parents of who are struggling financially, and the culture may be different from your own. And yes, you share a common race, but that may be where it stops. And now, in terms of really understanding what it is to be the parents of the children that report to you, that are reporting to you, there may be a disconnect, right? There could be a disconnect. So, because see, the assumption is like they say, man, we need more black males in the classroom teaching. And I say it, I preach it, right? But I learned as a principal that a black man coming into the classroom was not always the answer for me, because here I am recruiting black men, but then I found I had some black men that didn't want to endure the challenges of being a classroom teacher, right? I had to dismiss some black men, right? This is not for you, right? Like as long as you're coachable, then I'm going to work hard with you. But when you've demonstrated to me that you are not coachable, that you know it all, you're the all-knowing and you need nothing from me, although you are not connecting with these children who happen to look like you, then I'm going to help you find a different career, right? So yes, it could be a black-white question, meaning I got white teachers who have no clue how to connect with black children and black communities, black parents, right? So I want to make sure that we're clear there. But we could also be black, right? So or be of a different culture. As I say, I'm not going to repeat what I see on the screen, but yes, absolutely, right? So it could be culturally, we came from the same source of Africa, but got dropped off in different places in the Western Hemisphere. Right. So therefore, culturally, we're not seeing the world the same way. All right. So now I'm in the classroom and the kids look like me, but culturally, we're here. So now let's go back to the question, which I'm going to put back on the screen again for you. What role do I play toward ensuring that my staff understand the parents, our parents, and the surrounding community? Well, here's where it gets even deeper. This is why I can't wait for September. Because you as leader may not be in position to answer my question. See, you as leader may not be equipped right now to answer that question, because you're in the same predicament as the teacher that has lack of understanding of the parents and the surrounding community. So now you have work to do. And you have to be willing to admit that you're lacking in some areas, and there's some things that you need to learn, right? So now you do the things that you have to do in order to learn. And a part of that learning is immersing yourself in that community, non-judgmentally, right? Just because, see, here's the thing. If you're afraid of the community upon which your school is located, or because some schools are located in areas where the kids don't live there, right? We know that. In fact, that's the story of my life in a lot of places I work. So if you're intimidated by the neighborhoods upon which the students live, you may never maximize your potential because there's a fear there. And I'm gonna tell you this fear. This is the fear that some of us don't want to deal with. But I always keep it real on this platform. You can't fear the community, but not fear the children. If you fear the community, you better best believe somewhere in your heart and soul, you also fear the children. You just may not want to admit that to yourself. But the children are a product of the community. They're a product of the neighborhood. So if you fear that neighborhood, you probably fear the children. And particularly if it's secondary, grades 6 to 12. And not only do you fear the children, but you fear their parents. You fear their extended families, right? So I'm saying to you, this question, which I guess is an important question that I keep putting it back up. What role do I play toward ensuring that my staff understand our parents and the surrounding community? There could be a superintendent looking at you, an assistant superintendent looking at you, who's saying you're a problem as a principal, as an assistant principal, because clearly you don't understand the parents of your school. Clearly, you don't understand the community that surrounds your school. Clearly, you are intimidated by people in the school, children, parents on the outside, community on the outside. So now what that does, see, this is the stuff they don't teach in grad school, by the way. What that does, it puts you in a precarious position because you're not able to answer this question. What role do I play? Because the answer would be not a very effective role. Not a very effective role. Right? So therefore, you've got to align yourselves with people who are comfortable in that space, right? And that's probably one of the most important questions that I have on here, right? So yeah, so think about that. Think about that. That's an important one. So ideally, in terms of your motivation for the question, what role do I play toward ensuring my staff understand our parents and surrounding community? That's you engaging your staff, right? Engaging your staff in the tough conversations, right? But let's say, remember last week we had Principal Chris Gadsden on, and our topic was navigating the politics of school leadership. And I encourage you to get his book on Amazon. It's called Principal Politics 101. Again, Principal Politics 101 by Chris Gadsden, and I wrote the foreword for it. Well, let's say that you haven't mastered the politics in your school in this regard, and you're not comfortable in a conversation with your staff on, let's put the question back. Now I'll just read it. In terms of the role they play toward ensuring that staff understand parents and the surrounding community. That's got to be an inherent part of your conversation with staff, right? You can't run away from that, but you have to be aware of the politics that accompany it, because there are politics around that. Folks could run you out of town for engaging in that conversation if you don't know how to engage in the conversation. So a lot of how you position yourself with staff, so the staff see you as credible, they understand there's no ulterior motive with it, that you're being genuine with it, And now we can have that conversation, right? That's important, right? So you're having a conversation with staff, but it is not a demeaning conversation. It's just all it means is that culturally there are differences, right? So that's you all. And then Kellen Mark Sr. was saying, pick up the phone instead of the email, right? Yeah. So part of it is you as staff, your staff having conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna stay with you, Kellen. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Um, I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that I've ever emailed a parent in my life. I don't think I have, for the reason that Kellen just said. Kellen's on LinkedIn, by the way. I don't think that I ever emailed a parent. I knew their email addresses, but I felt the need to have a conversation. Does it take more time? Yeah. Does it get better results though? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anything person to person is going to get better results. It's like, I don't do virtual keynotes anymore. I got to be in the room. Right. It's just the Zoom AP New Principals Academy Zoom book talk. Right. That's why. Because I know we're going to get so much more done at 12 o'clock than we do at 11 o'clock. Person to person, it matters. Let's go, y'all. Number 9, I think of time is 12:42. I think I'm going to stop at number 10, and then I'm going to do a part 2 on the first Saturday in July. So let me put this up here. Here we go. Number 8. What were some of the activities that we engaged our parents in this year? See, I told you we're getting into the weeds now, right? What were some of the activities that we engaged our parents in this year? So I'm simply asking you to hold up the mirror and to reflect, what were those activities that you engaged parents in that kept them coming back for more because there was something special about the activities? Now, yes, I'm in favor of the school play that only has a very minute percentage of your students in it, but still, I'm in favor of the extracurricular activity, the sports, athletics, and so forth. But I'm going beyond that. But what were those activities that it wasn't reduced to a handful of kids? I mean, like the basketball game, you got your starting 5 and your 7 others on the bench, right? Okay, but you got 2,000 students in the building. So what else did you have in place? Now, again, with the Zoom call, then we can get into the specificity of what many of you are doing, which somebody in one of those boxes will hear you and say, I never thought of that. And now we've just enhanced an entire school because of a Zoom call. That's why we're doing this, right? So what were some of the activities that we engaged our parents in this year, right? So just think about all the possibilities of what you could do, right? Think about the things you did do, but then think about the possibilities of what you could do moving forward. Let me mute you for a hot second. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. We're back, y'all. So if you stay there a minute, it might stop. It might do it again. Hang on, y'all. All right, here we go. So what were some of the activities that we engaged our parents in this year? I want to encourage you just to brainstorm throughout the course of the summer what are some things that you could do that you haven't done or haven't considered? And that's why I say brainstorm. Now, let me give you this. I've shared this before, but I'm gonna share it one more time in this context. Hang on, y'all. All right. So, y'all don't mind me. I'm in a real home with a real wife, and we trying to figure out. There's this humming sound. I guess it's a dryer, maybe. So anyway, um, here she comes now. Y'all, hang on a minute. Hang on. All right, we it's resolved. We're here. So listen, y'all. Um, I remember when I was an elementary teacher, and it hit me hard. I said, our parents don't necessarily know our content, right? Or said differently, may know the content, but not necessarily understand their role as parent educators with reinforcing the content at home. So I was a teacher. I was an aspiring principal by then, but I was a teacher. So I got my team together, meaning the other fifth grade teachers, because we were departmentalized. So wherever my students went, I mean, my students went through them. I taught social studies. Another teacher taught language arts, math, and then another one science. Right. So I said to them, let's hold our own workshops and teach the parents their role. Right. And let's incentivize it. And let's have the homeroom, because I had my own homeroom, with the largest number of students. We give them a pizza party. We did that every month, and we did it a few times out of the month. Let me tell you something. We had just about 100% attendance of the entire fifth grade of 4 classes. We didn't have that kind of attendance at a PTA meeting, but we had that kind of attendance because of the intentionality of engaging them. So that became an activity. But then I went a step further. I said, well, they here. Let's give them some tips on their own careers. So removing them from parent, and now let's talk about them, because the parents were young. So let's feed them a little meat as far as just how I could get from point A to point B. Ooh, see. So now that endeared us to them, and we just had better communication, better relationships, better access because of the things that we were doing voluntarily, right, with our parents. So again, what were some of the activities that we engaged our parents in this year? That's one of the things we did. So for someone that's on the other side of the call that feels pessimistic about that and say, oh, we can't get them out, I told you we incentivized it. Them kids wanted that pizza party. They wanted that. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Because we had such large numbers, yeah, we incentivized it as far as the winning class, but quite frankly, we gave them all a pizza party because they all had strong attendance. So we're not going to deny you. You got 25 kids in the class and 24 parents showed up, and we're going to say no pizza for you? No, we everybody got a lunch, right? So so yeah, that's how we got down. So, but there's so much more. We could do a whole session just on activities. I'm just whetting your appetite, right? So Yolanda, that's what we're gonna talk about that in September. As far as those, oh well, I'll give it to you. I'm gonna give you one, Yolanda. All right, I'm gonna give you. See you soon. So I'm gonna give you another one. Hear me well, y'all. I might have talked about this like years ago on this platform. Hear me, please hear me on this. I used to engage my kids in so many different competitions: spelling, public speaking, writing, and stuff I can't even think of right now on a live platform, right? Just so much stuff. So my principal wasn't going to buy all these plaques and trophies. I was buying plaques, y'all. Like even I've shown you this. I show you this during Kwanzaa every year. So I had my kids writing books. My students wrote these. Hang on, y'all. Hang on. My students wrote these. Every student has a page, right? We would do these every year during the Kwanzaa season, right? So, but here's the thing. My principal wasn't gonna be paying for all that. That's that was not just my homeroom. That was every student that came through my room. So I had about 150 kids that I saw every day. My principal wasn't going to pay for all them books, 150 books. So I had to raise the money. Now, with these competitions, that wasn't just for my homeroom. That's for all my classes. So I'm doing spelling bees. I'm doing writing bees, for lack of a better word. I'm doing oratory contests. I'm doing whatever I could come up with. I'm just trying to make kids excited about being in that classroom. So here's what I did. I gave my kids plaques, man, plaques, big trophies. Some cases, you know how like in basketball, them summer leagues, and they give them like life-size trophies or trophies taller than the kid. I'm giving them kind of trophies. How you getting the money, Kafele? Watch this, y'all. Hey, put your ear to the screen for me. Put your ear to your speaker, I should say. And I'm almost done too. Put your ear to the speaker. There was a main street around, not far from my school. Most cities got Main Street, right? And you had malls and stuff, but my kids didn't live near no malls, right? You got to drive far to get to a mall if you were in East Orange, right? So my kids and their family shopped on Main Street in East Orange and Orange, New Jersey. What did I do? I went to every business. Now I'm not trying to encourage you to do this. I'm telling you what I did, because this ain't for everybody. I went to every one of them stores, every one of them businesses, and I said, I'm Mr. Kafele, Mr. Baruti Kafele, and I'm a teacher at Ashland School. My children and their parents shop in this store. How can you help me so that I can buy trophies and plaques for my children? Now, you see how my facial expression changed when I said that? That was the facial expression to say, if you can't help me, then we may not be patronizing you. That was that expression without saying it, right? So them folks was writing checks, baby. It was writing checks. My principal joked with me and said, what are you out there doing, extorting everybody? They were writing checks, man. I got so many trophies and plaques for my kids, man. And they would go hard. They wanted those plaques. And we would do a ceremony. Because you figure I got 150 kids. So we would do ceremonies, assemblies in the auditorium, in the gymnasium. And they felt special. We invite their parents, all that kind of stuff, man. And I ain't pay a dime. I went to where their parents are spending their money, or their children are going and buying candy and all that stuff before school, after school. My kids shop here every day. Right? They buying now or later. They still make those, y'all. They still make that, right? They buying now. So, help, give back, right? Give back. And that's how they were giving back, y'all. That's how they were giving back. Neighborhood stores, neighborhood shops, barber shops, you name it. They were giving back, right? So that's part of, that's me reliving the past for sure. But that's just a little part of what we were doing to make sure that that we were getting it done. So I can make sure so my kids could feel good. And hopefully they still own, because those plaques. I don't want you to think like they were. I can't even get to my stuff. I got a lot of plaques up top. You can't see them, right? They real plaques that like their names were engraved. Them kind of plaques, like when you get your Teacher of the Year plaque, right? Or you get your sorority plaque, your fraternity, all that kind of stuff. Those real joints. That's what we would get, right? So yeah, it was the real thing. It was a real thing. All right, so let's go. I got two more, y'all. I got two more. Number 9. Where we at? What resources do we provide our parents with? So I'll keep that up for a minute. So this one's an obvious one. There are community resources out there that parents may not always be aware of, or there may be community resources that have relationship to the school district or to individual schools. So the question is, how are we utilizing those communities? You know, when we talk about wraparound services, right? So how are we utilizing those resources that are out there that parent may not realize even exist? That's what that question is asking you. So with the question and the previous 8 questions, I'm asking you, leader, what are you doing? That's what these questions are asking. What are you doing as it relates to engaging your parents, engaging your families? So a part of that question, what are you doing, is what resources are you providing? Or what resources are you steering them to? Or what resources are you steering to your parents, right? But the bottom line is, and it doesn't have to, let's be very clear. Some things like you make an assumption that that folks know what you're saying. I don't mean you, I mean anybody that you communicate with. We make an assumption that the person you're communicating with understands what you're saying. And then it could be a thing where you're not even having a conversation because the understanding is not there. So just to be clear, some of these, what I'm saying to you today, it's not you doing it. You're the principal and you have a lot on your plate. It could be members of your team. Now, when I say team, I need to clarify that. I don't necessarily mean your administrative team. Anybody in that building is a part of your team. The secretary is part of your team. The teacher is part of your team. The custodian is part of your team. The nurse is part of your team. The security is part of your team. The cafeteria is part of your team. Counselor is part of your team. Child studies is part of your team. All them folks are part of your team. So when I say team, I don't want you to think administratively unless I say administratively. If I don't say administratively, I say your team. So you may have, because remember, your typical urban school, most of your teachers probably don't live in that community. But guess who does? You know. Them custodians live in that community. Chances are good anyway. Security lives in that community. And if they don't live there, they know it. Custodians and security. Secretaries, chances are good they live in that community. Cafeteria workers, it's a very good chance they live in that community. So they have certain knowledge and understanding, those particular folks. Parent coordinators, they live in the community. They have certain knowledge and understanding that some of your teachers may never, ever have, because they are products of the community. I mean, I know I taught in East Orange, New Jersey. Guess what? I was born and raised there. I led there for 8 years. So 7 years. I led there for 7 years. So guess what? There were things, I had an advantage. I'm a product of that community. I'll never get lost in that city. I can literally name every street in East Orange, New Jersey. You can't take me anywhere in East Orange and I'm going to be lost. Nowhere. I know that city as if I drew up the map, right? So, yeah, I had an advantage because the city produced me, right? So those folks in the building who are also from that city, and by the same token, I knew a lot of them folks that worked in my building as security and as custodians, etc., because I grew up with them, you know. So I had a certain advantage. So I'm saying to you, those particular folks on your staff, your team, they know things that your others don't know. They understand things that the other staff members that are not a product of that community may never understand. Never. I don't care how much you teach them. Never. Because that's not the community that produced them. So you got to tap into those folks. Yeah. Thank you, Jacqueline. Crossing guards. That's another category. You cafeteria worker and crossing guard, you can pretty much bet the house they're a product of that community. I'm not gonna say bet the house on them other categories like custodian, security, all that. But that crossing guard and them cafeteria workers, those kitchen workers, you can pretty much bet the house they're a product of that same neighborhood as them kids, right? So how are you tapping into them, right? What resources do we provide our parents with? It might not be coming from you. It may be coming from others who are in the know. I want you to keep that in mind, right? So that, I think that was number 9, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So I got one more, y'all, and then we're gonna wrap it up. I don't know why I thought I could get through 20 questions a day. Do our parents have sufficient access to me and my team? Matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I have to couple 10 and 11. So I'm gonna stop at 11. Do our parents, and then I'll revisit both of these next month. Do our parents have sufficient access to me? And I don't really have a lot to say about that one. And me and my team, right? So to me and my team, I'm not going to say a lot about that, particularly since it's 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1:01. But I will say this: despite everything that I've said over the years on this platform about instructional leadership, the parents still have to have access to you. But you've got to build a culture of understanding so that they understand. I can't just barge in there anytime and expect Kafele to be free. I can't barge in there anytime and expect Jacqueline. I can't expect Yolanda. I can't expect them and Kimberly and Sonia and so many of Melissa and so many others that are on here right now. Pamela, I see you, and Kellen. I can't expect you all to just be free. You might free yourself up, but I don't expect you just, oh, come on in. I'm not really doing much right now, right? It's not that kind of vibe, right? So I want to build a culture that's inclusive of parents, that they understand the role of the leadership team, right? That we're instructional leaders. So we're trying to spend the bulk of our day coaching, observing instruction, helping teachers to become phenomenal, right? So parent understands that. So then we build within the culture when we can meet with parents. Does that make sense to you? Right? So if I could put it back up for a second. So do our parents have sufficient access to me? I don't want the parent, go somewhere, man, I don't have no access to Principal Kafele, man. This guy's never free. No, I don't want that. I want to build the culture of understanding so they understand why I'm not free every minute of the day. But if they have an emergency and it's just something pressing with their child, like I'm stressed out over my daughter, this and that happened. No, I'm going to leave what I'm doing to talk to that parent, right? So, so it's a fine line. But make no mistake about it. I'm gonna leave what I'm doing. I'm gonna deal with that parent. Let me throw this in here. I've never shared this on here before, but I'm gonna share it now. I didn't share it because I never thought about it, and so something triggered it just now. A lot of students get sick in school. You know that. Y'all hear me, man. Y'all hear me. I can't believe it took me 6 years to share this with you. I never thought about this before. A lot of students get sick, get ill in school. Or a lot of students may suffer injuries in school, right? Like in PE, there's an injury, right? Or a kid fell down the stairs for whatever the reason. Just stuff happens. It's a real place called school, right? Those kids have to go to the hospital. Let me tell you something. I don't have to go to the hospital. In my years of principal leadership, 100. And I promise you, if there's anybody on this call from my old schools, you can call me out live. I don't care. 100% of the children that had to go to the hospital from my school during the school day, I rode in that ambulance. And I was in that emergency room with those children. 100%. Somebody would always have to come pick me up. I'll call the school. I need somebody get over here and get me, right? Because I didn't have my car. I rode in the ambulance with that youngster who was suffering. 100%. I don't even think my mother knows that, and she's on here. I don't think my wife knows that. I never talked about it, right? But 100% of the time, I'm in the ambulance. I didn't say AP go handle that. So the reason I'm sharing it with you, I'm making the point when it's an emergency, I'm leaving all these things that I prioritize, such as instructional leadership, because now instructional leadership is taking a back seat because I got one kid out of 1,000 that suffered whatever they're suffering. I'm going to that hospital with you. I'm going to be by that next to that bed with you. That's how I got down, y'all. And I hope you get down the same way. I don't see nobody in these comments, so I might have said an ouch, and that's okay too, right? But then again, maybe that's not your style, right? So I'm not gonna beat up on you, but that's the way I did it. So I can, as I talk, I haven't thought about this in a long. Not only have I never said it, I never thought about it, and that's probably why I never said it. I'm seeing in my mind's eye now all them phone calls to the secretary. Can you get somebody to pick me up, right? Usually it's my security. Yo, I need you to come get me, man. I'm at University Hospital, right? And that's how it was. Let me see what Josh said. He said, "Yes, sir. Ditto, Hefe. Our scholars need to see a friendly face in the ambulance." That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Linda Shade Washington said, "Absolutely, I agree with you." Yeah, that's the way. That's the way I did it, man. And then sometimes I'd go. Matter of fact, a lot of times I'd go to the home when they're discharged. Just to make sure everything is okay, that type of thing. So, yeah. And then there's some more sensitive things that I'm not going to share with you on this platform, but yeah, it's deeper than that, but I'm gonna kind of keep that right there. And, as Luther would say, keep it right there. Right. So, that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, I'm sharing that with you just to say, but there were those times that I got to say, later school, AP, it's yours. All right, lead it. I gotta be with this youngster, right? So I wanted to share with you that number 10, but I said to you I want to couple it with number 11. Do our parents respect my leadership and my team? So let's go back to number 10. Number 10 said, do our parents have sufficient access to me and my team? But number 11 is building upon that and saying, do our parents respect my leadership and my team? So here's what I want y'all to do, fam. Over the summer, hold up your mirror and ask yourself, because you know the answer. Do I matter to the parents? Do the parents appreciate my leadership? Do the parents respect my leadership? That matters, y'all. And let's say that you said, well, most do, but some don't. Okay. Then let me build on that. That child of the parent that you said doesn't like you or respect you, will that child be returning in May or September? I mean, not May or September. In August or September, and some of y'all July, right? Will that child be returning? If your answer is yes, then my question to you is, what will you do to ensure that that relationship between you and that parent is corrected, is rectified? What will you do? You're certainly not going to wait for the parent to do it. What will you do? Well, a lot of what you do is in these notes that I went over today. Those 11 questions, right? Those 11 questions. A lot of what you do is in those 11 questions. That matters. Yeah, Jacqueline, bring them mirrors. In fact, maybe I should just buy. Nah, you know something, Jacqueline? I'm gonna provide the mirrors. Don't even worry about it. Thanks for putting that in my head. Let me tell you, as I close out today, y'all. Let me tell you what I mean by team. See, Jacqueline Harriet from Nova Scotia, she's coming to the summer academy, the School Leadership Institute with Principal Kafele, and she says, should we bring our mirrors to the Principal Kafele Summer Leadership Institute. And she just put that notion in my head. These things are inexpensive. Nah, I'm gonna buy the mirrors, right? So I'm gonna provide the mirrors so that we can have that be a part. But see, if I didn't have the team member, because I never thought about providing mirrors. Never. I've been doing this for 9 years, and that thought never crossed my mind. But when you got team, I'm pointing this way because that's where her name is. You got team. Now I don't have to think of it all. I got team members who will think of things for me. And that's what leadership is, y'all. That's what it is. So, because if you got the right people around you, you don't have to come up with everything. They're going to do it for you. And that's why September, when we go to Zoom at 12 o'clock after the 11 o'clock hour on StreamYard, is so vital. I hope y'all can do it, man. I thought about like Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday. But I said, man, people got to have board meetings. They're going to have this meeting. They're going to be tired. I don't feel like being on there with Kafele at 8 o'clock at night. It's been a long day. So I said, since we do this on Saturday, let's just keep it going. Cut the presentation short by an hour and then go to Zoom. And then it's us. And then I could learn from y'all. See, that's the beauty. I could learn from you, right? Because y'all got experiences that I never had before, and then I'm able to benefit. So let me close us out, y'all. Again, to the people that tuned in late, what I'm referring to, because somebody might be on here now saying, what in the world is he talking about? I told the group this morning, and I told them at 12 o'clock noon, and I'm going to tell you one more time as I close out. I had this big announcement today. And the big announcement is we're going to change the solo Saturday starting the first week of September. In the first week of September, we're going to do half of the program, half of the live stream, the same way we do it, but I'm only going to do an hour of lecture. And then at 12 o'clock, we're going to switch over to Zoom. How am I going to get you guys on Zoom? That was the announcement, part of the announcement. So I want you to go to my AP and New Principals Academy Facebook page, my Facebook AP and New Principals Academy page, not my YouTube channel, not my regular Principal Kafele page, because I get too many inboxes on that page. It'll get lost. Some days I got hundreds in just one day, right? So go to my AP New Principal Academy. I don't get inboxes there too much. So go there and simply say one of two things: I'm down or I'm in. Right? Either one. So just say, I'm down or I'm in. That's it. And then leave me your personal email address, not your work email, because they may treat me as spam and it may never get to you. Right? So because at the end of the summer, like in late August, I'm gonna send you the link. And then that first Saturday in September, we on. But here's what I ask you to do, and I'll be saying this all summer, because this is not my only time announcing this. I'll be announcing this all summer. Please do not send that link to anybody. Right? Don't don't put it on your page and say, "Yeah, join us on." No, this ain't for everybody. This is for people that are part of this platform. Now, if you invite people to say you need to be a part of this, fine, right? Then you could do that, because that's somebody that's trusted. That's somebody you know. But like, don't give it to your staff and say, "Yo, y'all need to join Kafele. Here's the link." No, don't do that, please. Please don't do that. But it's your homie, one of your partners in crime, so to speak, and you say you need to be on. You need to be on this. Yeah, get them the link, right? And then we get down. We be in them boxes, and we're gonna be talking, man. And for those of you all who thinking ahead of me and you saying, "But you could only see 25 at a time." Yeah, but they got that arrow, right? And folks that know me from the Zoom world, I click that arrow. I'm looking at everybody. And by the way, cameras got to be on, y'all. We ain't doing cameras off, right? I got to see y'all. Because if the cameras is off, then I could just do StreamYard. So I need the cameras on, y'all. You got all of June, July, and August to get yourself pumped up to turn the camera on, right? So enough said, y'all. Hey, let me close us out. Appreciate you being here for week 3, 19, inclusive of our big announcement, which I don't need to announce again. So let me just go through what I'm doing. Next week, I forgot to write the names of next week's guests. I don't know who they are, but I know I got somebody lined up, right? So whoever it is, they'll be here with us next week. I'll have that posted on Thursday, as I always do. Make sure you watch Sean Hurt at 10 o'clock on either Facebook at Sean Hurt or YouTube at Sean Hurt. 10:30. This is every Saturday. Create and Educate with Dr. Sheikah Houston, Dr. Tammy Taylor. Again, all of these are Facebook and YouTube by the same names, right? So Create and Educate. Us, AP, and New Principals Academy at 11, and then PGP Podcasts with Josh Tovar and Dr. Madi Moreno. They're on Josh's page, right? So you can join them there every Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern. I've been having a hard time watching them because I've been flying on Sundays or at Knick games, right? By the way, y'all don't. It's number 15. I should have shown y'all that Earl the Pearl Monroe. Some of y'all young, you don't know Earl, but he's one of the greatest Knicks to ever live. I'll be at Game 4. So those of you who are basketball fans, if we win Game 3 on Monday, y'all know what Game 4 is. That's the closeout. So you know it's going to be wacky in New York City. If we win that Game 3 and 4, I will be in the building. So when you see all them crazy fans out there on TV or on social media on Wednesday night, know your brother's out there. Because see, some of these young fans, they've been waiting since Patrick Ewing days. I've been waiting since Willis Reed days. See, me and the Knicks go back to the 60s, not the 90s. Me and the Knicks go back to the 60s. If there's any New Yorkers on here now, me and the Knicks go back to the blue seats. See, they don't do that no more. All the seats the same color now, but we go back to the blue seats in Madison Square Garden. Those were the cheap seats, right? See, those were the seats where they gave the high school students the $4 discount. So I get the $4 discount. I was at all the home games, man, during my senior year because I quit the basketball team my senior year. Me and the coach didn't see eye to eye, so I quit. So I hung out at Madison Square Garden. That was in the 70s. So, but my uncle taught me, he said, buy the $4 seat, the blue seats, and then walk down and tip the usher $5. This is back in the old, this don't work today. This back in the 70s. Tip the usher $5 and he'll put you in the red seats. See, it went red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. That's how the garden used to look until they renovated it recently. So we would tip. So I was alone in all those games. So I would tip the usher. Here's $5. He'd sit me right down there by the court. My uncle taught. They can't do that no more. That's over. One of the players, Ray Williams, when he was young, he used to go in. He used to have tickets back in them days. So he would find a ticket stub, show it to the usher, to the ticket person when you go to the turnstiles, make it look like a whole ticket, and it wasn't. It was half a ticket, and he got in. See, people ran all sorts of scams back in them days, man. You can't pull off that stuff no more. Now you got to do it with your phone. But yeah, I'll be there, Game 4. So you know I'm gonna be crazy next Saturday if we get that dub on Wednesday night. I'll be rocking some more Knick gear. You know that. All right, y'all, enough of the Knicks. I'm going to see the Liberty tonight. Caitlin Clark going to be in the building, so we see what she got. We'll see what she got for my team, the Liberty. Anyway, let me close this out, y'all. I appreciate you being so patient with me. These two, y'all, if you don't have a copy yet, get yourself a copy. Someone wrote me the other day. They said, Kafele, this is required reading in my university course, right? I said, oh, man, praise God. Praise God. She said, this is required. Professor said, you have to read this, right? I know there's a few other schools because I've been told that, but all I can say is praise God, man. Brother just trying to do the right thing. That's all. Just trying to do the right thing and get blessed for it. It's the ASCD conference. I told y'all 628, 629. Come on and see me. Go to ascd.org and register. I'm doing a pre-conference session on the 28th. That's on a Sunday. I'm going from 8 to 1. So come on and join me, right? And then I'm doing a regular session, featured session on that Monday. And then July 9 and 10, School Leadership Institute, Savannah, Georgia. All day long. We're talking instructional leadership. Come on and join me. All day long, School Leadership Institute. We're going from 9 to 4. July 9 and 10 in Savannah, not far from the airport. So it's very convenient. NAESP, National Association of Elementary School Principals, July 14. I'll be doing 2 sessions, a featured and a regular. Go to naesp.org. And then the next day I'll be in Nashville, SREB, Southern Regional Educational Board, SREB.org. I'll be doing a featured and a regular. So come on and join me. Those are my only public engagements this summer. Everything else is in schools and school districts. I can't be inviting y'all to those, but these you can come to, but you gotta register, you gotta pay, right? So come on through, and I'd love to see you, right? Other than that, y'all subscribe to the AP New Principals Academy YouTube channel. That's what you subscribe to. We are 25,300. But as far as the Zoom, and I'm calling it a book study, but it's an extension of this. That you go to AP New Principals Academy Facebook page. If by chance you can't get on Facebook, you're not a part of Facebook, then send me a note in whatever platform you're watching me on, right? I'll take that, right? Because I want you to be a part of us. Visit principalkafele.com, and then finally, your diet, your exercise, and your virus precautions. Oh man, there's a lot out here, y'all. It's a lot out here. I ain't even gonna get into it, but I know that we got that big soccer tournament. What do you call it? FIFA? I don't know soccer, but it's gonna be right in my backyard. And they talking about Ebola and all this kind of stuff. So just make sure that you taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, right? That's important. Take whatever precautions you have to take, but take care of you. With that being said, y'all have a great week. Have an extraordinary week. Have your best week yet. Peace. Peace. Thumbs up. Cock that fist back. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Bam. I'll see y'all next Saturday with my guest, which I'll tell you who they are on Thursday.